Well, good morning or afternoon, whatever the case may be. We are, as always, excited because we're about to take our first major trip since being fully vaccinated. Now, this is the information I'm going to give you today is pretty timely as of right now. 2 weeks from now, a month from now, it may not be of use at all. But we're going to, in today's episode, we're going to talk about how to get to Maui. What are the health protocols that you need to go through, and what you can expect in terms of expenses. Even though you may have been fully vaccinated, as we have, and even though the CDC just came out with recommendations, I think it was yesterday, and I'm filming this on April 3rd, that Americans who have been vaccinated can feel confident in traveling as long as they wear masks and so forth. That's not necessarily true for Hawaii. Hawaii still requires a negative COVID test before you go there. And so when we decided about a month ago that we were going to go to Maui from Las Vegas, we looked into this, and at first it seemed kind of complicated, but I'm going to try and simplify that for you if you are planning to go to Maui from the mainland anytime soon. The two things that there are two websites that are really all you need to know. Follow the directions on those websites. The first one, and I'll put links to them below. The first one is hawaiicovid19.com. And that's a comprehensive website that gives you all the information about what you need to do prior to traveling to Hawaii. And it has links then to all the other sites that you need to know. So that's that first one, hawaiicovid19.com. The next website that is important is called travel.hawaii.gov. travel.hawaii.gov. And that is the site where you need to upload your, you download all your information, upload your information. And when you get your negative test, you can you use that portal. Okay, here are some important things you need to know if you're going to Hawaii as of the very first week of April 2021. The main point is that you must have a negative COVID test within 72 hours from departing from your last U.S. mainland departure point. So if you have a connecting flight somewhere, so for example, we're flying from Las Vegas to San Francisco, the 72 hours can be no later than 72, your test can be no later than 72 hours from the time that we leave San Francisco. You have to have a negative test, and then it has to be uploaded to the Safe Travels site, and you can reach that again through that travel.hawaii.gov website. You fill out this form. It's helpful if you fill it out ahead of time. You give them basic information. It talks about, what flight are you taking, how long are you going to stay, where are you going to stay, that sort of thing. And you fill that out. Then you have that, and then you finish filling it out after you've gotten your test. So your COVID test, a couple things you need to know. It has to be what they call a nucleic acid amplification test. Now this is also called an RT-PCR test, which people may be a little bit more familiar with. So that's the kind of test it has to be. It can't be an antigen test or some of these other things. It has to be that type of test. And number two, it has to come from a state of Hawaii preferred travel partner. And on their website, that first hawaiicovid19.com, site, it lists all of their preferred sites where you can get that COVID test. Now, it lists on there places like Walgreens or CVS pharmacies. But if you go to the CVS pharmacy website, it will tell you that they can't guarantee they're going to get the results to you within that 72 hours. So I wouldn't recommend going to that one. You almost have to, well, yes, you have to go to each one of those preferred sites or find one that's close to where you live and then figure out how quickly they can give the results. For us, we go to University Medical Center. That's what we're going to do on Monday. We fly out Wednesday night. Hopefully we'll have our results back in time and that'll all work out. Once you get that negative result, the testing site gives you the results, and then you upload that in a file to the Safe Travel site of Hawaii. You also have to have a hard copy of your test results with you as you get on the plane going to Hawaii. Once Hawaii gets that uploaded file that you've given them, not the hard, well, it is the hard copy, but you've uploaded that file onto their form, they'll then send you a QR code that you can have on your phone so that when you arrive at your airport in Hawaii, they scan that QR code and then you're good to go. So hopefully that'll all work out fine for us. In the unlikely event and very sad situation, if you either have a positive test, that's not good. But if you don't get your negative test in time, or for some reason it's inconclusive, then you're going to have to quarantine for 10 days. That's a bad deal. They don't count vacation rentals as a place to quarantine. Supposedly you're not supposed to leave the room that you're in. You can't rent a car. It's just not a good situation. So you have to figure out how you're going to get that negative test and the results beforehand. Okay, that's basically all you need to know with that. Okay, number 2 are expenses when you go to Maui. Now, okay, Tanya and I have been, since the pandemic, we've been watching, like I'm sure a lot of you have, lots of YouTube videos. And we watch, one of our favorites is Bald and Bankrupt. Okay, and the creator of that channel, he's in Eastern Europe and in Georgia and Uzbekistan and so forth. He's having a wonderful time. Things are very cheap, so we sort of have that in our mind. Oh yeah, things are cheap. We watch other ones, people retiring in Mexico or here or there. Yeah, we live on $1,700 a month here. It's wonderful. People in Ecuador, oh yeah, it's about a third of what it costs. So we're somehow in our mind we thought, oh, people will love to have us now. And even Maui, which we've been to before and we know is expensive, it can't be that expensive, right? Because they must want us. Well, that's not necessarily true. Well, the way we got into this thing in the first place was about a month ago, I saw this really terrific airfare. United Airlines was from Vegas to Maui round trip was $215. I thought, whoa, that's super. I told Tanya, let's go. And I'm sort of the mindset that if you get a cheap fare somewhere, take it. Figure out all the details later. So that's what we did. Well, then of course we looked at that. So that that was each. So that's like $430 for the two of us to go round trip. Well, then we thought, well, that was so cheap. Well, we can't just go economy. Let's go economy plus. It's United. Okay, let's do that. All right, so we do that. By the time they add that plus, the premium economy on there, the total for the two of us is $807. Well, okay, $400 each. That's probably a pretty good deal. So anyway, all right. So that was our first kind of surprise. Okay, now where are we going to stay? You may find some YouTube sites where people are vacationing in Maui and they're staying at an Airbnb for $125 a night. Whoa, if you can find that, I would just be amazed. And I don't know where that would be. We started looking at hotels. Well, those are ridiculous. I mean, they're like $650, $800 a night. Okay, well, we're not going to do that. So we looked at VRBO. We knew we wanted to be on a place that was close to the beach, where we could listen to the water. We wanted to be in Lahaina. We don't want to be out in the middle of nowhere. That's hardly possible in Maui. But so we wanted to be in the historic town of Lanai. We wanted to be able to, have a balcony so we can listen to the waves in the morning. Plus, we decided if we're going there, well, let's spend 2 weeks. Okay, so we start looking around. Well, we found, finally the perfect place, and it was only $259 a night. Oh, well, okay, that's a lot, but it's doable. Well, by the time they add on the cleaning fee and the service fee and the taxes and so forth, it is $341.82 a night. Times 14 nights, $4,785. Oh man, this really cheap $215 airfare thing is turning out to be really expensive, but there we go. Okay, that's fine. We'll suck it up. There we go. Okay, so we haven't really planned on a rental car yet. Well, rental cars, if you're going to Maui right now, I went through the Costco site. I went through the Avis site. Avis, no cars available in any category during the time that we're going to be there. Costco, through their site. They look at multiple rental agencies. Nothing available. I finally went to Hertz, and the tiny little Chevy Spark, which is okay, the cheapest for that is $244 a day. If we were going to rent a car for the entire 2 weeks, that's $4,100. I don't want to buy the car. I just want to rent it. I know rental cars are expensive, but we're kind of blown away by that. Well, so you would think that two pensioners who are usually pretty careful with their money would avoid getting into these situations, but here we are. So, you only live once. I guess we'll do it. Okay. Those are the main things to talk about. The one last thing that I want to talk about is back on the testing. If you get tested ahead of time, there's a fee for that too. So, we're paying $130 each just to get that COVID test. So, ka-chink, ka-chink, ka-chink. Okay, last thing, you got to have gear when you're going to Maui. So, okay, people say, what are you going to do when you get there? Well, okay, I see all these videos. People are cliff diving. These guys are, they have great buff bodies. They're out on the beach. I have Fitzpatrick type 1 skin. This is not likely that I could be doing this. I'll be 73 years old next week. Okay, I could jump off a cliff, but I just don't want to. But I do have goggles, so, from before. So, we could go snorkeling. I have my, I know this isn't totally appropriate, but I have a little flower for my hair. And I had to get a swimsuit, so because I didn't have anything. What I'd had before were like Speedos. We lived in Europe for, 7 years, and that was appropriate. But no, so I know that's not going to work. So okay, so I got some swim trunks. Okay, good. Well, one set of trunks isn't enough. I got to get 2. All right, perfect. Now I got a couple of those. Tanya goes on. Wait, I have Aloha shirts. Well, this is great. I already have about 6 or 7 of them. I got those at Costco last year, so that's not so bad. But I don't know if you can see those. There are these shirts. That's just going to be lovely. Tanya, of course, had to get new shoes. If you can see that. Okay, good. And of course, a stylish hat for Tanya. This is actually Tanya's hat, but I can kind of model it for you. Kind of see what the idea is of this. Okay. So there we go. We're hopefully off to Maui next week, and stay tuned, and we'll give you an update when we come back how that all goes. If you enjoyed this or got maybe a chuckle out of it, give us a thumbs up, subscribe. There you go. You know the drill. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.